to get there. And of course,
Joe Biden picking up Hillary Clinton's endorsement. The 2016 Democratic nominee joined Biden at a virtual town hall yesterday. Let's bring in the RNC Chairwoman, Ronna McDaniel. Good morning, Madam Chairwoman.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
Good to have you. Hope your family's doing well and everybody's safe. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit 2020. Critics seem to immediately say that it looked like Joe Biden was falling asleep in this virtual town hall. I think in fairness, he was maybe just looking down at his notes. But either way, how's this basement strategy working out for Biden?
Well, Biden's trying to get attention, but unfortunately, the media is not giving him attention on issues that really matter. He's had 20 events since these serious allegations have come out against him, and he has not been asked one question. That's in stark contrast as to how Brett Kavanaugh was treated when those allegations came forward. And I think it's really calling into question some of the mainstream media, why they're not asking him tough questions, especially yesterday when he had a women's town hall.
Yeah, well, but I understand your point from the Republican side. On the other hand, because of this basement strategy, garage strategy, whatever you want to call it, he's not providing a lot of access to reporters. So in this virtual town hall, they get to control the message and have it go back and forth between Biden and Clinton. But at the next news conference that Joe Biden has, what question do you want him to answer? What question does the mainstream media need to push here?
Well, I think they should at least ask the question. He has had 6 interviews on NBC. They haven't asked the question. It is a total contrast to how Republicans are treated versus Joe Biden. And yes, he is running a scripted campaign from his basement, but it doesn't take away the seriousness of the allegations and actually how differently he's being treated versus how Brett Kavanaugh was treated. I think it is truly hypocritical.
And then you have the fact that Joe Biden said some weeks ago that he's going to pick a woman as vice president. Several of those potential female VPs were on Sunday shows over the weekend, as you know, and hosts were not asking them. Now, I know on CNN last night, one of the potential VP candidates was asked about these allegations, and she basically said, Stacey Abrams, that, look, there should be an investigation, but I believe Joe Biden. To your point, doesn't that sound a little different than Brett Kavanaugh when it was, we can't move forward without the FBI investigating this and getting to the bottom of it?
I mean, you can pull up the clips of Democrats during Brett Kavanaugh. They ran with an guilty before being proven innocent strategy, and it's not what our country's for. I'm for due process. I believe in that strongly. But at least this should be heard and vetted, and Joe Biden should have to answer for it. And it is really wrong to see what happened to Brett Kavanaugh versus the Democrats' radio silence on Joe Biden.
In the last minute we have, I don't want to lose sight of the Hillary Clinton factor here because we introduced that at the top. And I understand the questions you want answered on the sexual assault allegations. What about Hillary Clinton? Does she help or hurt? She's going to make the case that the left will be fired up. She's the former nominee. But there are people in the middle of this country who might not think it's great to have Hillary Clinton at your side.
Well, I'm coming to you from the state of Michigan. I hope Joe Biden brings her here often. I hope he takes her all around the country. She is not a candidate that resonates in my part of the country. I'm sure she gave him some tips, like maybe show up in Wisconsin this time. But, it's part of the pageantry of the endorsements for Joe Biden. The one thing I see in common with he and Hillary Clinton is there's an energy issue. There's a deficit there.
All right. We'll be watching all of that. Ronna McDaniel, we certainly appreciate your views. You coming in. Have a good day.